Hi guys, we just came back from our spring break trip. In this episode, we will take you to our 20th national park, Pinnacles National Park. The weather was not the best during our spring break. California just had so much rain and snow, so we were a little worried. We stopped at Barstow, California for the first night, then continued our journey. It was a long drive. We saw a rainbow, wind turbines, another rainbow, snowy mountains, went through very thick fog, saw rows of cherry trees, and oil pumps. The scenery was beautiful with green hills. We finally saw a blue sky. After almost 6 hours, we finally arrived at Pinnacles National Park. This is the entrance station and the rangers work there. We got the park map and the campground map. We stayed at the park campground and there were so many squirrels. Our site was next to the river, and it was muddy and overflowing from the storm. We made some sandwiches for lunch and headed to the campground store. There was a shuttle bus running for the weekends. The campground store had 2 different sections. We went to the park store first to get the National Park stamp. We learned that the Junior Ranger booklets and badges were available at the entrance station only. The next store was more like a general store for snacks and camping-related items. We decided to take it easy for the day. We had a short walk from the campground to an old homestead. Dogs were allowed to go on this road, so we took our dog with us. This is Bacon Ranch. It's an old homestead site and we could see the house, garage, blacksmith shop, and barn from outside. We crossed this cool wooden bridge. The site was very muddy, but it was nice to see the old ranch close. This was a perfect homestead site with running water and beautiful trees. Okay, let's go check it out. We hiked back to the campground and went to the other end. The bench trail goes to the Bear Gulch area where we were going to explore the next day. We had a very short walk on this trail and came back. It's dinner time. When it got dark, we could hear frogs. The next morning, we had breakfast and drove to the Bear Gulch area. We stopped at the old National Park sign. The view was very nice. We were told we would be able to see soaring California condors in the morning on Condor Gulch Trail. So we decided to hike the trail to the viewpoint in the morning. The water in the creek up here was much clearer than that river by the campground. The whole trail is 1.7 miles one way, but we were going to the viewpoint that is 1 mile from the trailhead. It was very refreshing listening to the running and dripping water while we were hiking. We could see some California condors gliding. The first lower part of the trail was very muddy. We listened to the water, saw so many different types of flowers, and looked up once in a while to spot condors. This was the viewpoint. It was a little scary to look down. We went a little more from the viewpoint and there was a little poppy field. As we went down, we saw more and more people coming. It was amazing to see those California condors. The trail to the viewpoint was scenic and the weather was perfect for it. The early spring is the perfect time for this place for sure. We decided to hike another trail, so we had lunch in the parking lot. We were hoping to take the Bear Gulch Cave Trail, but because of the recent storm, the cave was closed. We went through a nice picnic area to get to the trailhead. This trail was different than Condor Gulch Trail. We felt more humidity and moss was growing everywhere. There were different types of plants growing too. The Rim Trail brought us to Bear Gulch Reservoir. We will come back to go to the caves and do more hikes here. We went to the entrance station and got our Junior Ranger badges. We played outside and made dinner. We went for a walk after dinner and watched more birds and squirrels. The next morning, we went for a walk before we left and saw some animals moving on the hill. It was a flock of wild turkeys. That was it for Pinnacles National Park. It was our first time visiting this park, but it won't be the last time. Even though it's one of the least visited national parks, we really like the trails and wildlife. We truly enjoyed our time exploring this park, and we will return to explore more. We hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.